Hey guys, it's Dan from Generation Productions here, and I decided, alright, I got a little bit grouchy before, but, just I don't like seeing my favourite car get destroyed, okay? Just put it that way. Anyways, today I thought I would just go and do what I said I was going to do a review on the Auto World and RTL General Lees. Again, I'm dressed as Bo Duke. So, I'm dressed as Bo Duke, and I do have some General Lees. I do have a lot more in my collection. And also thanks to my, shout out to my friends, Craig, who was kind enough to help me build up my collection. He got me a number plate and some pieces of a General Lee, which is good. That's a good start. If I want to build a General Lee, I've got a good place to start now. Got a few bits and pieces. So now all I need now is a door, a roof, a bonnet, some mirrors, all sorts of stuff like that. But nah, just kidding. But he did give me some stuff, so that helped build up my Dukes of Hazzard collection, which is great. Thank you, Craig, for that. And without further ado, let's get into it. This is the Auto World General Lee. As I said before, this is the Auto World General Lee. This is the reissue, the one that I showed before, and this is the one I'm showing now. This is the reissue General Lee. I'll explain the difference because I've got the other one as well. This is the other one, the non-reissue one. I've customised it a little bit. This is the standard one. This is the one that first Auto World brought out. I customised it by putting the silver strip on the side. So without further ado, I'll get into that. And also, we do have the RTL General Lee as well. This one's had a bit of rough work done on it, because I've been jumping it and stuff like that. But, like I said, let's get into it. So, the first cars that came out way back when was the RTL cars. This one is from 1981, I believe, but I think I got mine in 2005, I think. What the hell's going on there? Well, that's just weird. Don't know what that is. Anyway, sorry people getting distracted. I think it's a bit glue or something got stuck on the side of the General there. Anyway, so there we go. So this is the RTL General Lee. Now, the RTL General Lee 1/18 scale was around, like I said, in that time period. So I got mine, and what happens is you can open up the bonnet and you can see the engine and all the stuff that's inside, the air filter and everything. And what happened to this poor boy was I was jumping him, and his front end actually got broken off. This whole piece came off. So me and my dad glued it back together. And it was basically like a stunt car General Lee. And eventually, because the mirrors for these cars, I'll just grab the other one here for a second, because the mirrors for these cars are so small and so fiddly to mess with, when I was doing my jumping of the RTL one, it actually broke off, so I just remade one out of glue to fix it up and made a glue mirror, which made it look a little bit bigger and bulkier, but it still did the job. And the same with the handle. The handles break off quite easily, and so I had to glue them back on and make a glue handle out of hot glue. So that was my RTL General Lee. There's the roof, the side, the other side, the back, and the front. Now, as time went on, I managed to actually collect some more General Lees, and the next General Lee I collected was the a few other ones, but then I got these really good ones from Auto World. Thank you, Auto World. I wish you'd actually make some more Dodge Chargers or General Lees or whatever, because Auto World, you did really, really brilliant with these. I absolutely love them. This is the Auto World or General Lee, and as you can see, the doors can actually open on this model. and so the doors can actually open. They've actually been stuck together with a bit of paint, so you can choose to leave it shut or have it open. And again, with this one's slightly different. You've got the boot that opens up, and you can see all the insides of the boot. You've also got the front, which opens up and shows you all that in there as well. But what I thought was really nice detailing was actually finally put the actual CB aerial on the actual car. Many of the generally toys, like the OTL ones as you saw before, do not come with an aerial, so that was quite good. And a few people had actually made custom ones. But the one thing I really loved about this was that when you see the car back wheels spinning, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the actual the shaft, the drive shaft, actually spins as well. And also we also have the steering column. Actually, as you can see there, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the steering column on the generally also works, so you can actually steer from the wheel. You can actually steer the car as well. So that's pretty awesome. So this was the back to what I was trying to tell you. This was the actual first. This was the first release. There's no springs to actually hold the bond up. So if I basically if I let go of the boot, it just falls straight down. There's no real connections. It's got suspensions in it, which is good for, as you can see, it's got good suspension. Yeah, the wheels turn and everything else, which is really brilliant. But that was the first release. And the first release also came with the CB aerial, like I was saying before. But I also had this. It was separated, and so I had to glue it into place. And sadly with mine, this little black piece, the whole thing was actually black, and it actually broke up inside the black piece. So there was a few issues with that generally. I mean, I still love it. Famous words of Roscoe, I love it. So it still looks great. That was the first release, and then, like I was showing before, when I was getting a little bit narky, but this is the second release generally from Auto World. Now the second release was actually slightly better. Again, you still have the issue with the you still have the thing with it opening up, and you can still see the motor. You still have the boot that can open up. But the cool thing about this boot is that when you actually leave it up, it actually stays up. Unlike the previous generally of the Auto World that didn't have, excuse me, the springs and the other one didn't have the springs in the boot, so it didn't actually flip the boot, keep the boot up, which was actually what's supposed to do in the TV show and the movies. So there we go, and I'll just set this up for you guys. So you can actually get now all these ones are 1/18 scale, and most of the RTL generalies were made from 2011 and onwards. But here we go, let's have a look, see. Now this is just a little bit of a pan out, so there we go. So there was the first edition, the re-release, and of course the original RTL generally. As I said before, I kind of modified it a bit by putting these silver strips in them, mainly because I love the idea of the TV series generally had those strips. When you see it later on in some of the other seasons and stuff, they don't have the silver strips, so that's the reason why I left this one as is. But yeah, absolutely love the General Lee, and love these models of mine. I've got more, but like I said, I don't really want to show off too much stuff. But as you can see here, that this is the General Lee's. Oh yeah, I've got to also add too. If people really want to take off the number plate, you can actually take off the number plate off the front, because in the TV show they actually never actually had the number plate. There's a fun fact for you: they never actually had a number plate on the front of the General Lee. Go back and have a look. But I don't know if the back one can pop off as well, but I definitely know that there's one on the back as well of the number plates. But sadly say, when I tried to do that with this one, it actually broke off. As you can sort of see there, it sort of broke off the front. But yeah, pretty much most of these here General Lees are pretty well good. Like I said, you can actually remove number plate as well if you want to, or you can probably snap it back on, because there's basically 2 holes there, as you can see, but 2 holes. If it'll be okay. You see 2 holes. There's like 2 little pegs on the back, and you can just pop that back in. You can pop it on and pop it off if you want. Like I said, again, you can open the doors if you want. If you really want to force it, I'm pretty sure you can actually unlock the door, because all that's holding it there is actually a bit of paint. But overall, it's still a pretty great car. I still love this generally. If you have a look inside there, it's pretty well detailed for the Auto World General Lee. Inside the RTL General Lee, looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think the Auto World General Lee interior is actually a bit based on the RTL Authentics General Lee that came out. I do have one of those too, but I didn't bring it with me because I didn't have enough room to put all 3 General Lees on the desk. So, but yeah, we do have this nice interior. You can see into the back seat there, I think too. Yeah, it looks really well detailed. You've got the seat belts. You've got all sorts of really cool stuff in the Auto World General Lee. I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't love the good old classic RTL General Lee. Not saying I don't love this one, but I really love the Auto World General Lees. They're nice, good for adult collectors and maybe even teenagers. Not really good for kids, I don't think, because there's just too much detail and stuff can actually break. I don't know if it's on this one. I think it is on, yeah, this one here. My first one. The gear shift in there. Wait a minute, I was going to see if I can take a photo of this, people. Just a second. The gear stick in there. My mum was trying to do a driving thing with the steering wheel, like I just did. And actually accidentally broke the gear shift, so I had to glue it back together. Sorry, you guys may not have heard that properly. I said the gear shift there. My mum tried to move the steering wheel and ended up breaking the gear shift, so I had to glue it back in there. So the cars themselves are quite fragile. Like they are mainly for collectors and display purposes, almost like the model kits. So I don't recommend too many kids or too many adults trying to actually play with these, but they are still very beautiful, absolutely beautiful and lovely. I love it. I love these General Lees so much. These Auto World General Lees, they're so beautiful. But yeah, if you can try and get your hands on either the first edition or the second or the reissue, re-release, go ahead, do it, because it's absolutely worth it. They both look very beautiful, and they're very awesome. So again, thanks people for watching. Stay safe. God bless you all, and yeah.